Did you ever hear the one about the man who thought he could increase productivity by cloning himself? He ended up with a house full of clones, lounging around, eating his food and arguing over who should do the chores. The irony? His productivity plummeted. This humorous anecdote serves to highlight a key truth. It's not about doing more, it's about doing effectively. And that's where habits come into play. Instead of cloning yourself, maybe try adopting these 7 habits of highly effective people. They're less science fiction, I promise. Remember the tortoise and the hare? Well, let's imagine if the hare was proactive instead of cocky. Picture this. The hare, using proactivity, sets multiple alarms, prepares a nutritious breakfast, and even stretches before the race. Instead of snoozing under a tree, he keeps a steady pace, outsmarting the tortoise with his newfound foresight. This is the essence of proactivity, taking initiative, planning ahead and controlling our actions, rather than reacting to circumstances. So, remember, be like the new and improved hare, not the old cocky one. Ever tried to assemble IKEA furniture without looking at the instructions first? Let's imagine a friend. We'll call him Bob. Bob's a confident guy, thinks he's got this down. He rips open the box, scatters the pieces all over the floor, and dives right in. An hour later, Bob's created, well, it's definitely not a bookshelf, it's more like abstract art. Now, Bob's got to disassemble his Picasso-esque creation and start over, this time with the instructions. This is a fun way to illustrate the habit of beginning with the end in mind. It's all about having a clear vision of your goal before you start. If Bob had taken a minute to picture his finished bookshelf and read the instructions, he wouldn't be sitting in a pile of mismatched boards and screws right now. That's life, folks. We need to visualize our desired outcomes and plan the steps to reach them. So don't be an IKEA fail. Always begin with the end in mind. Imagine if Cinderella decided to do her chores before rushing to the prince's ball. Picture this. Our favorite fairy tale heroine, in her ragged clothes, scrubbing floors instead of slipping into that magical gown. She's dusting the fireplace, washing the dishes and even feeding the family cat, while the clock is ticking away. The royal ball? Oh, that could wait, she thought. You see, Cinderella got her priorities mixed up. She was so caught up with her daily tasks, she almost missed the event that could potentially change her life. Now isn't that a rather strange twist to our beloved fairy tale? In our lives, we often act like this version of Cinderella. We get so engrossed with our routine chores and work, we forget to prioritize what's truly important. We forget to put first things first. This habit isn't about managing your time. It's about managing your life. It's about recognizing the significant over the urgent. So don't be a Cinderella in the wrong story. Prioritize. Ever played a game of Monopoly where everyone wins? Imagine the Smiths, a quirky family trying just that. Dad's trading Park Place for a couple of railroads, Mom's lending out her Monopoly money, and little Timmy, he's just happy he's not in jail. It's chaos, but it's cooperative chaos. They're not just playing to win, they're playing to help each other win too. That's the essence of the win-win habit. So, life's not Monopoly, but it doesn't mean you can't play for a win-win. What if the Avengers decided to fight Thanos one by one instead of as a team? Picture it. Iron Man, trying to outsmart Thanos in a glitzy tech-off, only to get his circuits scrambled. Thor, attempting to outmuscle him, but getting his hammer tossed into another galaxy. And poor Hulk, trying to outroar him but left whimpering like a chastised puppy. It's not a pretty sight, is it? That's the power of synergy, combining our strengths to conquer a common goal. So, don't try to be a lone avenger, synergize. Ever tried to cut a tree with a blunt saw? Imagine this, a lumberjack named Bob, known for his brawny muscles and intense determination, wakes up one morning and decides to chop down the largest tree in the forest. He grabs his trusty saw, not noticing its dull edge, and heads off. Hours turn into days and Bob's mighty muscles are no match for the tree's stubborn resistance. He huffs and puffs, sweat pouring down his face, but the tree stands firm, barely scratched. Now picture this alternate scenario. Bob, the same determined lumberjack, wakes up, but this time, he takes a moment to inspect and sharpen his saw before setting off. With a sharp saw and renewed vigor, he manages to fell the tree in a fraction of the time. This humorous tale is a perfect metaphor for the importance of continuous self-improvement and learning. Just like Bob's saw, we must consistently sharpen our skills and knowledge to effectively conquer our challenges, so don't be a dull saw, keep sharpening. So, to avoid being a lazy clone, an IKEA fail, or a dull saw, let's quickly revisit our Super 7. Start by being proactive, not just reactive. Visualize your endgame before you even make your first move. Prioritize like a boss and always aim for the win-win. Embrace synergy and remember, two heads are often better than one. And finally, keep that saw sharp. You're no good if you're all work and no play. Remember, these habits are less science fiction and more like your personal superpowers. Use them well.